So I've tried filming this intro so many times, and it's still, to this day, the hardest thing, I think. It's just getting the ball rolling on these videos is just not easy. I don't know why I just struggle so much when it comes to these introductions. So I'm just going to jump straight into it. I was planning on doing a vlog last week, but completely procrastinated pretty much the last 2 weeks. I'm very far behind on pretty much everything I wanted to do. There's just a lot of things both to do with YouTube and not to do with YouTube that I have to do, and I've pretty much put all of it on hold. Not really intentionally, just a lot of different contributing factors to it. One being the weather. It is so cold lately that just crawling out of bed is just so difficult right now. And then also, the one other thing that was making me procrastinate a little bit, unfortunately, was games. Unfortunately, I've played more video games in the past 2 weeks than I think I have in probably the past maybe 6 months. It's pretty crazy. I don't like that, to be honest. I don't like playing games all that much. It is something that I've cut down on quite a lot. Working from home, it's a bit difficult. So basically, video games, with how far away I live from pretty much all of my friends and family, video games is really one of my main ways of socializing. And so basically something new comes out and it does make me procrastinate a little bit because it is just something to do with friends that, you know, we can all kind of do together. And this time around, it was the new Elden Ring DLC that sort of put everything on hold a little bit. But things are definitely getting better. I'm really starting to knuckle down and basically start getting on top of everything. I did want to actually do a vlog last week where I talked about the last video that I uploaded, because I definitely do want to talk a little bit about that one. So basically, last video I uploaded, to be honest, the don't waste your time wondering what if video, it was an important video to me because I definitely, it's sort of the way I want to start living my life, not sort of always regretting the decisions I don't make, basically. And also a part of that is trying to get over all of this procrastination that I do. But yeah, so basically the video itself, although I was pretty happy with it, I wasn't 100% happy with it. So, I tried to go with like a little bit more of a sort of cinematic vlog style video. I don't think I'm very great at that stuff yet. It is something that I definitely want to do more of because I do want to get better at that kind of stuff. I do think that I'm a little bit limited at the moment with it though, because I don't have a very good lens. I've basically just using the kit lens that comes with the Sony ZV-E10. I don't have the best microphone either, so I think my audio is not that great. And I also picked a really bad room to film part of it in. I didn't realize until editing how much of an echo there was in that room. It was really bad. But also lighting. Lighting is definitely one of those things that I think I would want to get first before anything else. So obviously I do want to get more camera gear. It's definitely becoming a hobby of mine, starting this channel. It's something that I've always wanted to get into because it's obviously a lot more productive than video games. And yeah, there's definitely a lot of things I'd love to buy, but as of right now, the main thing on my list is just something like a light box, something to just improve the overall lighting. So it doesn't really matter when I film. Like right now, I try to only film during the day because that's the best time, obviously, for decent lighting. But even then, sometimes it can be hard because sometimes the lighting coming through here is so harsh that I just become completely dark. So it is difficult. It's definitely a big learning curve trying to film using a camera. It's not quite as easy as it is with a phone. I feel like with a phone you can just kind of point and shoot and it doesn't really matter. With a camera, there's a lot more variables to think about. But yeah, the video didn't really turn out as well as I'd hoped. And then coupled with pretty much procrastinating straight after that, instead of putting out that vlog that I wanted to do, I feel like once I procrastinated, it just made me procrastinate even more, because it just sort of put me into a bit of a downward spiral, sort of, I guess. So yeah, there's a lot of things that I do want to talk about when it comes to that stuff. I was actually planning on doing a whole video on, you know, procrastination and overcoming procrastination and that kind of stuff, because it is something that I am definitely getting a lot better at. See, my biggest issue is basically when it comes to filming something like that video that I put out, which I did learn a lot from making that video. And that's pretty much because I made it once, completely hated it, redid the whole thing. And then doing it the second time, it went a lot better because I did learn from the mistakes the first time I made it. But when it comes to filming videos like that, my biggest issue, especially coming from, you know, my issues with procrastination, is that I find it very difficult to do those bigger projects because it's hard for me to just sort of plan something and then work towards that end goal. Usually if there's like a due date for something, like anything, I will leave it till last minute and just smash the whole thing out. Like once I start something, I can fully focus on just that thing. Sorry about that. So yeah, basically working on these bigger projects is a lot harder for me when it comes to procrastinating, because I know I can't just sit down and smash the whole thing out in one sitting. When it comes to these smaller ones though, it's a lot easier for me because I find it so much easier to really sit down and focus. It's the same with studying. Like sometimes working up to studying can be a bit tricky, but once I sit down and actually start, I can just sit there for hours on end. Like it just doesn't matter. But yeah, makes it a bit tricky when it comes to planning these bigger videos because it is, yeah, a lot harder to focus. But in saying that, it is something that I'm definitely getting better at. And that last video that I made did teach me a lot about the whole process, and especially how important it is to basically plan everything before you even start shooting is something that I found helped me a lot. Like when I actually filmed that last one, I basically had the whole script written out and what shots I was going to film for what lines, and what lines would just be covered by a little bit of B-roll footage. And yeah, it definitely helped a lot. So basically planning needs to improve a little bit, obviously. But yeah, I definitely want to make more bigger projects like that, even though the video turned out to only be like 4 or 5 minutes long or something like that, and I spent a lot of hours coming up with the script and planning the shots. But it was fun, and it was a learning experience as well, which was really good. Now, one of the other things that I'm actually doing today, actually right now as I speak, is I'm currently planning a new study schedule. So basically I'm upgrading my Japanese studies a little bit. So I've hit a point where I'm just about finished with a lot of my Anki decks. So I'm basically coming up with a different, newer study schedule, sort of creating my own little study plan, that I think would be a really beneficial way of studying Japanese and really improving. Because like other things, I find it really hard when it comes to studying to just sort of study, how do I put this? Like, actually, I think I've mentioned it before, like watching people, like watching videos. I mean, I've watched a ton of videos on, you know, what people say is the best way to study something, but they're not really sort of very specific. And for me, I like to come up with a specific sort of goal, like do this, do this, do that, and have like some sort of structure to it. If I don't come up with some sort of structure, then I find it very sort of sporadic, kind of like it's just a lot harder to study without a structured plan. So that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm coming up with a structured plan that I can follow indefinitely, basically, and this will be something that I can continue using basically until, hopefully until fluency. That's the ultimate goal. But yeah, it's definitely, I've got it on paper. I'm just sort of now working on putting it onto my computer, and yeah, that'll basically be what I'll be following until it's all done. I've also been thinking a lot about how I want to film my next travel diary series. So as much as I would like to do like, you know, a cinematic sort of vlog style, the more I think about it, the more I like my other travel diary series. I think it actually turned out really well. I didn't think it would turn out that great. I mean, the first few videos were a bit because it was kind of my first time doing it, and also the film, like the footage that I took while in Japan wasn't that great, and again, that just comes down to lack of experience, I think. Now that I've got a camera, I think I can take much better footage while in Japan. I think I will do a bit of a mix though, like kind of like half vlog style, like while in Japan, but also I kind of like that sort of post sort of trip, like where I just sat down and talked about everything. Yeah, not 100% how I'll do it, but I think that's kind of something that I'll be leaning towards, sort of improving upon what I did last time, because I actually kind of liked that, and it was very like much more chill as well. It wasn't very like difficult. It was a very easy thing to do, and I kind of like that. But who knows, maybe between now and my Japan trip that might completely change. I don't know if I will go with that style. I think I will though, because I mean, as much as I would like to do sort of a more cinematic vlog style video while in Japan, I think it would just be too difficult, because I mean, even planning those videos now takes quite a bit of work, and to be able to fully script and film a video like that each day that I'm in Japan would just be way too difficult. At least for me. I mean, there's definitely people out there that are great at filming that kind of stuff, but I'm definitely not that organized to be able to film that kind of stuff right now. Although I do want to keep filming and making videos like that last one that I made. Even though I'm not that great at it yet, it doesn't really bother me uploading videos that are not as good as I want them to be, because I actually do like looking back on the previous videos that I've made and seeing how much they've changed to what they are now. Like, even looking back on the first few videos of my travel diary series, I definitely can tell I was not anywhere near as confident in speaking to the camera as I am now. I mean, even now, I'm not fully comfortable with it, I wouldn't say. I definitely don't get anywhere near as anxious with it, which is really good, and it is definitely something that is improving, and especially getting tongue-tied. Tongue-tied is something that happened to me so much in the beginning. It does happen to me still a little bit now. Like, it's I just find it so easy to get muddled up in the words that I'm trying to say. Even if I'm following a script, I do it. I don't know if that's normal or if it's just me because of the, you know, the anxiety when filming, but yeah, that was something that happened so much in the beginning, but just doesn't happen anywhere near as much as it used to, which is really, really good. So I can definitely tell that things are improving quite a lot, which is great. Just trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to talk about. I mean, there was definitely quite a few things that I wanted to go over, but I think I actually managed to touch on them all now. I mean, I've got an idea for my next video. I'm not going to say when it's going to be coming out, because obviously that was a complete disaster when I mentioned that last time. I think it ended up being like 2 or 3 weeks later than I originally wanted to do it. And again, purely just because I just kept putting it off until the last second and then just wasn't happy with the result. But yeah, this time around, I'm definitely going to make a better video in a bit of a different style. I'm not gonna do that same style because I do want to find what I like. So I do want to film more videos like that last one that I did, but I also want to film videos in a completely different way until I find the way that I like doing them, if that makes sense. I don't really feel like I've found my sort of style yet, or how I want to be making all of these videos. So until I do, I will just keep sort of doing these vlogs in between and release sort of a more fully scripted video every so often until I sort of find that whatever clicks, basically. Although with these vlogs, I feel like I do kind of ramble on a little bit and sort of repeat the same thing over and over a couple of times. And I've noticed that I do say quite a lot when I'm thinking, and that's just, again, because it's not scripted and I don't script any of these videos, but I do kind of make talking points and then completely forget about them. So they are, I go into these obviously knowing a little bit of what I want to talk about, but for the most part, just completely unscripted. And I think the main reason why I make these videos like this one, and why I'll keep doing these ones in between those bigger videos until I'm more comfortable with the whole process and putting them out more regularly, is because they do really help with just getting comfortable talking to the camera, which is really important. So yeah, I'm just going to continue working on this study schedule. It is just an improvement on what I was doing, plus adding in a few extra things that'll really help the whole review process and just solidify what I'm actually studying. It's really hard for me to actually type up this study schedule while talking to the camera because I'm talking about something completely different to what I'm actually typing. Sorry if you can hear my cat scratching in the background as well. He really wants to go outside. But yeah, so I'm gonna go away. I'm gonna get this finished. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on today's video. And if you like this video, it would really help me out a lot if you would hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you want, you can always hit that notification bell as well if you want updates on future videos. I do plan on putting out more content. I've finally starting to get back into the groove of things, and hopefully will not be procrastinating anywhere near as much. Like I said, I was planning on putting out a video on overcoming procrastination because it is something that I'm getting better at doing, and it is something that I had struggled with a lot more in the past than I do now. So yeah, anyways, I'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now.